Good morning. Welcome to the Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26, also streamed on Facebook. I'm your host, Ed Nunez, along with our producer, Alden Iwani. Our special guest today is Volcano Vista girls basketball coach, Lisa Villareal. Coach, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me on the show.
Coach, tonight you've got the Hawks at 7-0 and 4-0 in district and playing very, very well. You've got Siebel again tonight. You defeated them earlier this season. Really, the closest game you've had is 19 points. Runner-up last year, three-time state champion in 2012, 2014, and 2016. State runner-up last year to Hobbs, losing 58-43. Coach, I guess what I want to ask, it's been a season unlike any other, for sure. We weren't even sure if we were going to play. The Hawks have been playing very, very well. How did you prepare your girls for the season? Because again, we weren't sure. Pods of five, it didn't look like we were going to play, and then all of a sudden we did, and it seemed like your Hawks picked up right where they left off last year.
Yeah, it was a scary time for us. We, with the group we had coming back, we really wanted to get out there and play. There were times where we would just meet remote and just talk about, the possibility of not having a season. And those were some sad times. There were times where we all had our cameras off because we couldn't talk about it because the emotions were so high and, it was a roller coaster all the way through. So, coming back, pods of 4-1, 5-1, whatever the pods were at the time, the girls were really committed and showing up, and I have a good group of girls that have been playing for a long time that they put in a lot of work on their own. So, and that's what I would emphasize a lot. We don't know if we're going to play, but if we do, we got to be ready. And a lot of this time has to be on your clock. So they really took it serious, and whether they were playing out in their, backyard, a park that they found that was available or whatever they needed to do, that's what they did.
You talk about that work, and you can tell that there's such a cohesive unit. The way that they play together, it's like they have a sixth sense about, and we'll talk about that in a second. I just love covering your team. I've got the honor of covering them again tonight. But I'll tell you, the way they apply pressure. You love to press, you love to get the steals, and they score in transition. But talk a little bit about their chemistry together, because remember, a lot of kids these days, with all the social media and all the games that they can play, it's a throwback to go out to the park and play. I know I did that. You probably did a lot. Get a game anywhere you could back in the day. It's kind of a throwback to see kids doing that now. So the fact that your girls put in that kind of work on their own, maybe they felt a little bit of something last year. We left something on the table. Again, Hobbs is a fine team, coached by Joe Carpenter. They're very good. But when you lose a championship and you think you have a chance for another, maybe that inspired them to go out and do that work.
Right. They're Hobbs is a very well-coached team. They're a very good team. And, the girls are playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder right now. So I think they have a little bit of motivation, just by getting to the state title game and coming up short, a lot short. But, it was a great experience for them, being that, majority of my team were sophomores at the time. They're a lot more veteran. But, that's not to take away anything from Hobbs, because they're about as old as us as well, and maybe even a little bit younger. So the chemistry these girls have, they've been playing there's a core of about 4 of them that have been playing AAU together for quite some time. So they have that little cohesive unit going on between the 4 of them. And then it just kind of fits well with the rest of the girls that we have here at Volcano Vista, and they all just click right now. And if you asked me last year if they were veteran, no, they're not. They're veteran this year, and you can see it not only in their play but their maturity and just their team chemistry as well.
What's the difference? Because a lot of people would ask that. You said they weren't last year, even though they did get to the championship. sometimes we can't win every game. And sometimes the lessons in losing make us grow up a lot quicker than we ever thought. We look back and we're thinking, darn, we hated losing that game, right? We hated it, but gosh, it made me think about why we lost, why we got better, how to get better, and it inspired us even more. So
Well,
talk about a little bit about that.
yeah, last year the immaturity, showed, maybe not out on the court, but me just playing with them, them practicing with me and playing day in and day out, you could see where they had a lot to learn still, and they did. And so, there it showed at times where they would get upset with each other a lot more last season than what they do now. I think they really took what happened to us and having this shortened season due to what we're all going through, just kind of made them realize the family they have here and the sisterhood that they've really come around to become here at Volcano Vista. And I think now, the focus is a lot better this season. I think their camaraderie has even gotten better, and they just pick each other up whenever possible. It's no longer I'm going to shrug you off because you're telling me something to help me. Now it's kind of like, oh, thanks. I needed to hear that.
That is maturation. There's no question about it. That's definitely maturation. And it's interesting because it's yo-yo emotions, right? We're playing, we're not playing, we're in pots of five. And so I think sometimes you only have yourselves to rely on, right? Inside the circle, that team is a circle. And the trust circle, right? The trust inside the circle. Everybody outside, it is an outsider. And that's not a knock, it's the truth. Because who's got each other's back, right? When the chips are down and we need each other, you're picking each other up, right? We made a mistake, but we learned from it. And a veteran team definitely learns from losing. I think sometimes it hurts, right? We hate losing. I always said as a coach and a player, I hated losing more than I like winning. You remember the losses more, am I right? You really do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's crazy, right? I talk to a lot of coaches and they'll say, gosh, you know what? We ran that play with 2.5. We should have never run that. No matter if they've won 500 games. I'll say that about Coach Murphy at Hope, an outstanding coach. He's won 16 championships. And when I look at him, he's not any less competitive than he was in 1986. He's still as competitive as he ever was. So I think those are important lessons to learn, and in lessons that we learned on our own. You can tell them all you want, Coach. You can tell them and you can preach to them. You've got a great staff there as well. We'll talk about your staff there in a minute. But it's the lessons they learn on their own that I guarantee you makes you smile from ear to ear.
Absolutely. And they just really are in a place where they can take criticism very well, and just, the focus is there. It's just a different team that I'm coaching right now, and it's very enjoyable. And, talk about, they couldn't quite remember what the score was of the Hobbs game. So of course I scroll through my phone and say, here it is. And, they saw that I had a picture of the scoreboard, and, just to use as a motivating factor as we, approach this season.
And it's been hard because, again, fans aren't allowed in our county yet. We're not a green county, but they're motivating. Again, the game against Highland was close at half. The game again, in the third quarter, the Hawks took over. And I've seen some, again, I call it yo-yo emotions, because some games I've seen the kids play very, very hard, and then some they come out flat. And we got to remember they are kids, right? And those flat games happen in a regular season, right? They happen in a regular season. Sometimes the kids have it, and sometimes they don't. But I think it's harder. This whole pandemic thing is definitely harder on kids than it is on anyone, right? Because we're hoping as adults, we're a little bit older and a lot more experience, that things are going to be okay. For them, comfort zone is basketball and what they do socially and in school, and it wasn't there for a while. So I think your Hawks have handled it. It sounds very well. Sounds like very well.
Yes, I'm very happy that they're playing, that we're out on the court together. just this is nothing anyone ever imagined we'd be going through. So, they've handled it well, and we're just taking, day by day, one game at a time.
And I'll tell you what, so far, so good. The Hawks have definitely handled their business. And again, you have a big game against Cibola tonight. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about your own coaching background. You played at Espanola. You coached for a while at Capital. Your uncle Jerry Villareal, former coach at Mesa Vista, a legend out there. The Northerners love their basketball coach. They for sure do. Your nephew is Mikey Dominguez, the former Capital star, the New Mexico Highlands coach right now. Talk a little bit about your own coaching background growing up, because you must have family discussions with your uncle and your nephew. Basketball discussions in families when you're all coaching and have played, they don't ever stop.
Yeah, we're big coaching come from a good coaching pedigree, and that's what I hear reporters call it. So, we just have a big coaching background, and everybody played, everybody has coached, and the conversations do revolve around basketball and other sports. So it just runs in the blood.
How long were you the head coach at Capital? How long were you there?
2 seasons.
And you've been at Volcano Vista for 8 now. See, eight seasons? Is it
no, we've been open. We opened in 2007, and we competed in the year 8 and 9. So what does that make it? We're in our 14th season, something like that.
Gosh, it doesn't seem like that.
As long as our school's been open, that's how long I've been here.
Again, you winning 3 state championships in 12, 14, and 16, and every one of those. And I remember some of the players you had back in 12 and in 14. I was still officiating, and in 16, and you've had an outstanding program. Talk about what it's been like to build a championship program. Even winning one is hard. You won 3, we'll say runner-up last year, and that's not easy to do. A lot of people want success in programs. It took you a little while to build one. Talk about the success or how you built a program here at Volcano Vista, winning one.
People ask that all the time, and it was a unique opportunity. Who doesn't want to start a program from scratch and implement everything? It wasn't easy by any means. You had to a whole new culture to get used to. I'm from northern New Mexico, and so moving here to the bigger city was, we had our ups and downs, and we've had some great players come through here. Obviously, this next season, when these gals that I have right now become seniors, it will be the 10-year anniversary where Volcano Vista won their first state title in 2012. So we've had our ups and downs, but I would like to think it's more ups than downs at this point. And the tradition that we've set here, we hope to continue it year after year. And the girls really buy into what we do here, and they love just being a part of this Hawk family.
Yeah, there's no question by the way they play. They sure amplify that. We'll be back after these messages on the sports desk to talk more basketball with Volcano Vista head girls basketball coach Lisa Villareal.
Played, top of the 18. Morgan's there, one-on-one with the keeper, and that opens the scoring. Rachel Morgan, the senior, finds the back of the net, and it's 1-0 St. Mike's.
Oliveris for 3, yes.
Well, I like that young man.
Good transition opportunity for the Bulldogs. Deep three's up, and it's good by number 11, Annika Reed.
Rowe gets it, boots it forward. Myers is there, he's able to head it, but that is Alexa Duggan, who goes across the body.
There. Gonzalez going to get all the way to the basket here off the window with the extra kiss, and it's good for Gonzalez.
How about play to the top of the 18? Morgan, nice turn. Morgan, left-footed shot. Morgan! 3-0, and that is a brace for Rachel Morgan, the senior from St. Michael's.
Underneath for Alter, tries the slam and does it. So in two. Here comes the pressure. Hasbury takes it away and sends it in.
There's a top 10 play right there, I can tell you that.
The last-ditch effort for the Wildcats. They are cornered right now.
That ball goal! It's the long goal from Contreras! Holy cow! Luke Contreras absolutely launched that ball. Contreras. Kumar takes the shot, and that is it! We didn't make it an entire minute into this overtime before Oliver Kumar delivered the winning score. Look at those boys celebrate down there, dogpiling on top of number 6.
Back to the Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26, also streamed on Facebook, along with our producer, Alden Iwani, our special guest, Volcano Vista girls head coach, Lisa Villareal. And Coach, a great first segment. You know, you talked about your success in building a team at Volcano. And again, winning programs, they're hard to come by. You mentioned it's going to be the 10-year championship of your state championship in 2012. And that's hard to believe. That really is. That's hard to believe because time flies that fast. It really does. And you've had some excellent players go through the program. But you mentioned building tradition, and I think it can become something like with a winning program, the Hawk legacy or the Hawk dynasty. It's 3 championships. Wouldn't call it a dynasty, but it's something that people remember, and you build on, right? And they recognize that. Teams know, and they already know that when they play you, you're going to press. You have a certain style of play. You're going to score points in transition. And with Natalia Chavez and Jalen Bates, talk about them a little bit. They're Natalia Chavez and Jalen Bates. I call Jalen Bates a volume shooter, right? Boom, boom, boom through the legs, squares up to the basket every single time. When she misses, she won't miss 2 in a row. You know, rarely. If she's got a wide open 3, she won't miss 2 in a row. A volume shooter. Quiet, but an assassin. So talk a little bit about those two.
Yeah, there are guard duo and their guard combo, and they both have such smooth shots. Jalen just is a smooth operator in everything that she does. I think right now she's probably playing at another level with her maturity and her focus. It's just a totally different player from last season, and I think she's doing a lot more. Not just, going to the bucket and scoring. She's involving her team and becoming more of an all-around player than what I saw last season. And Natalia continues to work on her game as well. These 2 girls can score. There's no doubt about it. They look for each other. Because, if one is not having an off night, they look for the other. And they also look for the other girls on the team because, we have some other shooters as well and some other scorers that can help them. And I think as our team moves on, I think we've become more of an all-around team, and led by these two. They're the two that people focus on, and I get that, and they get that, but the other girls also know their roles as to how to get them shots, and it works as a system for us. And we do, it's no secret, we're going to go out there, we're going to press, we're going to have pressure defense, and hopefully get some easy transition points. And it just fits into the style that they play. And when we need buckets, we know who to look for and who to trust to get the ball in their hands.
One of the things that you mentioned was scoring in transition, and I think that gets Jalen Bates' game going overall, because when you lay it up and you have easy scores in transition, you get confident seeing the ball go through the net. She also is a great free throw shooter, so she's very, very tough. She's going to get hers, right? There's no question about it. Now, one of my favorite Hawks is Kennedy Brown. Kennedy Brown, the daughter of Volcano Vista head boys basketball coach Greg Brown. Now, she doesn't take a lot of offensive opportunities. She does when she needs to, but a smart coach's daughter player for sure. Physical hustle will get you the 50-50 loose balls. What amazes me about her, she'll dive, and from a crouch, she'll find Jalen Bates wide open and hit her in her shooting pocket. Those things there, to me, I've been around the game a long time, and those things are the unsung. Now, people will pick up the box the next day and they'll say, well, Kennedy Brown, she may not have had 20 points or 10 points, but those things there, the extra possessions, the physical hustle, talk a little bit about that. And then again, finding somebody from the floor, and I mean in their shooting pocket, bam. How important is she to your team?
She's the glue that holds it all together. When you think of hustle stats, Kennedy Brown's name comes up. Like you said, every loose ball is going to be hers. She's going to fling her body wherever it needs to be flung to get that ball and to get it to the girls that are going to finish the play that she started. Her leadership on the court, whether it's her hustle, her mentality, her voice for the girls, she's the one they listen to. So she's the glue that holds it all together.
What a fantastic leader. And I'll tell you, tough. I have the utmost respect for her because of the hustle, and it's unsung, right? But the people that know the game, her teammates, they know what she does. They know that they feed off of her, and they know because they score because of her scoring passes. They know that. And she's going to fight you, man, for another possession. If you're going to go against her, floor burns after the game. She's probably got about, they know you wear those with pride, right? We all did.
Right.
They burned in the shower, but the next day we're like, you know what? That feels good. And it sounds stupid, but only people that played ball would understand that. You know why you did it, right? You know why you did it.
Yeah, she's the energy. She's the energy of our team, and the girls really feed off of it.
Coach, like I said, I've been around the game for 50 years, man, as a player, coach, official, broadcaster, and I just love to watch that girl because, again, Coach Brown and I are friends, and I've known Coach Brown and the Browns for a long time. And I told Coach that the other night. I said, she's just that unsung hero, right? The one that's going to give you everything she has and has the talent, but she knows she does it for everyone else. She'll get hers too. Don't get me wrong. She will score when she needs to. But she's that heady player that makes the pass that leads to the pass. She's that player.
Yes,
Yeah, it's very, very tough. Let's talk about your other two starters, Savannah McGuire and Gianna Ottaguan. Don't want to forget about them. They add a lot too.
Gianna is now in her fourth year starting varsity, so she's very veteran. And, she's our silent assassin also when they're guarding, face guarding Jalen or Natalia. She's the one they forget about, and she'll silently score threes on you back to back to back if you let her. And she has a great dribble drive to the basket as well. And Savannah McGuire, she's part of that junior bunch that She really likes to hang around the basket and grab rebounds for us. And she brings energy to our press because she's up top, putting a lot of pressure with her length. And we like her energy that she brings and her hustle. She's just kind of like Kennedy, where she's throwing herself all over to get that ball. And her hustle stats have improved from last season as well.
Those are stats that any player you want to, if you got love for the game, you're looking to see where do you stand there? How many loose balls did I get? How many deflections? And those things are very important in your press. The deflections, the loose balls, who's going to get them? Because I think it becomes a team thing. Everybody wants to compete, and if you're competing like that, those only add up to more wins, right? Because we're out hustling,
Right.
we're out working everybody. I want to ask you about the freshman TT Hill, who I've told you about. I'm so impressed by her. TT Hill plays with the maturation way beyond her freshman years. Talk about her a little bit.
Yeah, she's letting loose a little bit more and more every day in practice, and we're just trying to speed her up because she has a lot of talent and she brings a lot of good things to this team. A little bit more height that we need to battle later on, and her talent. I think just being a freshman with such veteran players on our team, she can be a little tentative, but she's letting loose, like I said, a little bit more every day in practice, and we're seeing good things from her, and she's understanding the speed and the strength and the toughness of high school varsity. It's a different level than what they're used to, and I think she's fitting in well and understanding it a little bit better and learning not to relax so much.
Well, physically, she's going to she's going to develop. She's already very, very strong for a freshman, and I think the upside, I think you would agree, is tremendous. I really think she's, and then her and let's not forget Angeline Aranda. When she comes in, they form quite a high-low duo. TT Hill's a very good passer, a very high basketball IQ.
She has great vision. You're right.
Yes, yes, and she could dribble the ball. In a couple of years, maybe this summer is very, very important for all players, right? But we might see her leading the break, man, and that's how good she is. And so I got one more question for you. You're undefeated. You play Cibola tonight, and it's one game at a time. Where does your Hawks need to be to close the deal on that championship? Getting there, it's one game at a time. Where do you think the Hawks need to improve the most in getting to that championship game again?
Tonight's going to be a great game for us because Coach Mabry does a fantastic job with her defense. No matter what team she has, they're going to play hard. And that's the type of defense that we need to really go against tonight. And so we're excited about that because I believe they get us better. And we just need to focus on doing the little things. We know we're going to score, but defensive strategies that we've been working on, we hope to implement and execute as well. And just, hopefully get ready game by game, day by day. It's like we always tell the girls, every day out on the court, whether it's practice or a game, is an opportunity to improve. And tonight's one of those nights.
Even more so in a condensed season, Coach. It's crazy because normally you have 10 games to get ready for district, and this is just a different season altogether. You've already beat Cleveland twice, and this is your chance again to beat Cibola. And again, you're right. We had Coach Mabry last Friday against the Trisco Heritage, and they turned that defense up. You're right. And Coach Mabry is going to make sure, much respect to Coach Mabry, that her girls play hard. Coach Lisa Villareal, Volcano Vista head girls basketball coach, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
We'll see you tonight up at Volcano Vista. Best of luck.
Thank you.
For producer Alden Iwani, I'm Ed Nunez. We'll see you next week on the Sports Desk.